Oh, good morning, fine people. How are we doing? You are watching Kwak TV, because why watch Kwak Crap TV, where you can watch Kwak TV. Put my frigging teeth in again today. 3 days in a row, I'm not having my bastard teeth in. How are we doing? If you are watching live, please jump on in the comments. And if you are watching on replay, please put hashtag replay in the comments for me. And today's guest, before I bring them on very, very shortly, is a fabulous one. So make sure you tune in today, because I really, really can't wait. But yeah, oh, Cara Wood, I'm excited for this one. I bet you are, Treacle. It's yes. So today is, have we got the hot cross buns out, people? It is Good Friday. Have we got fish and chips booked for tonight? Because remember, Chippy's going to be busy. How are we doing? It is Good Friday. I hope you are. Are you taking an extra day off? I remember when I had a muggle job. You remember 9 to 5? Well, apparently that's the thing. Is they used to be like, oh, you can have bank holiday off. I'm like, what the fuck's a bank holiday? I worked in hospitality and catering. What the fuck's bank holiday? It means jack shit to me. Really don't get it. So yeah, you are. I read the scrolly thing as Cheese Week. For fuck's sake, Cara, honestly. It's Kirch's Week, not Cheese Week. And it's called a ticker. So yes, make sure you jump in the comments for me. Hello, mother. This is Mummy Quackers, everybody. Hope you are well. So yes, today, as we know, every day of the year, because I'm not going to prat about today, because I want to get this guest on, because it is fabulous. I go through the different days of the year, because every day of the year is something different. And today's day of the year is Ferret Day. Yeah, pet your ferret. Do with that what you will. This is what you're in for, to my guest. This is what you're really in for. It is also Walk to Work Day. I did walk to work. I walked from the bedroom to the office. I've done that one today. It was absolutely fabulous. It is also Poet. I think I should say poem. Poem in a Cupcake Day. So put a poem in a cupcake. Who the fuck comes up with these? It's also World Autism Day, people. Oh, World Autism Day. Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. And like I keep saying, it's Good Friday. Have you got your Good Friday shit ready? Hot cross buns and chippy. You should have a chippy tea on a Friday anyway, shouldn't you, really? You know what I mean? It's Friday, but Good Friday. You need a chippy tea. So those are your days of the year. And like I said, it is 2 days into April. And I know this might not mean anything to anyone, but it's actually the big sister of Mr. Quacker's birthday today. Bless her, she's not a day over 50. No, she'll kill me for saying that. So yes, it is happy birthday to my glorious sister, who does watch this every now and again. However, with no further ado, so today's guest, who I am about to bring on, is the modern man, helping men rediscover their masculinity and femininity, if I said that right, because I always struggle with that word, in a fabulous, fabulous way. And you know what? He is so lovely. It is unreal. So with no further ado, I'm about to bring on the one and the only Mr. Fidel Beauhill. Good morning, sir.
Good Friday, man. It's Good Friday. This is a big deal. This is a big deal in Jamaica, Good Friday. So we don't have chippy tea, we have fried fish. So yeah, no meat is eaten. It's all about fried fish. So you wake up and have fried fish and bami, or saltfish fritters, or ackee and saltfish for breakfast, and then a big lunch with all kinds of red snapper and prawns and everything else like that. So yeah,
so
Good Friday is a big day in Jamaica. Huh?
Yeah, coming to yours for tea tonight, then, yeah.
Yeah, so, man. I'm supposed to be going on a picnic. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get fried fish on a picnic, like. So yeah.
Get one of them instant barbecues. You'll be right. It'll be fine. Fidel, just before we continue, just in case people don't know who you are and what you do, who are you and what do you do?
No, where have they been? Nah. Yeah, my name is Fidel Beauhill. My official thing is that I'm the modern man coach. I work with guys who've been through divorces, breakups, and midlife crisis and stuff like that. I'm the founder of the Modern Man Club. I also run the Modern Woman Club, which is interesting. It's me and about 800 women. What I do wonder why sometimes. Seriously, that face. I'm actually running the first ever group program for women at the moment, the Queenmaker. And wow, that's different. That is. Yeah, it's really different working with a group of women than it is to working with a group of guys.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine.
I'm loving it though. It's good fun. It's good fun. They're great. I've got a great gang of ladies in there. So that's me. Top selling author of Divorce and Modern Man's Guide. Get the plug in while I'm here.
Love it. So there's so many things I want to ask you. So first of all, how did you get into what you do? So the Modern Man, how did you get into it?
Right, probably the same as most sort of life coaches and therapists and stuff like that. You get into it after crashing and burning yourself, really, and then going through a process. and coming out of the other end, realizing kind of who you are and what you want to do. That's what happened to me. I used to be a will writer. I used to run an estate planning company. That's how most people got to know me. I became really well known as Bad News Beauhill. I used to walk around with a skull and crossbones jacket and a big sign saying, "You're all going to die." Little did I know that I was talking about my business. No, I kind of grew that business too quickly. I was really, really, really good at the marketing side of things, and I took on some new offices and employed a load of staff and everything else like that. And I went a bit too quickly. Got hit with a massive tax bill and a VAT bill and stuff like that. And I didn't tell anyone. Didn't tell my wife. Didn't tell any of my business friends. Didn't tell any of my social friends. Didn't tell anybody. Kept it all inside. Meanwhile, this tanker was cruising into an iceberg, a kind of epic rate, and I ended up having a panic attack and being rushed to hospital, thinking I was having a heart attack, which then led me down the path of realizing that it was the reason why I didn't tell anybody was that kind of my business and that of a provider and a pillar of the community and everything else like that was so heavily linked to my sense of masculinity and what it meant for me to be a man. And that was why I didn't tell anybody. And I thought, if that can happen to me, somebody who's very outgoing, who has got a load of friends. I mean, she's my ex-wife now, but I still get on really well with her. I had a great wife, I had a great family, I had great friends. I could have told them all, but I chose not to. And if someone like me is in that kind of predicament, then there must be loads of men going through stuff like that just don't know how to manage it. And I've since discovered that that's true. So that's the short story. I spent 3 years training as an NLP master coach, master hypnotherapist, personal trainer, no more Mr. Nice Guy, certified coach, and all those sort of things. So I've got all my qualifications and training up to the hilt. But more than that, I'm 45. I've run businesses my entire life. There isn't much I haven't done well at or messed up at.
You're growing your own business from the age of 14, did you say? You've been like self-employed?
Yeah, I've had 2 jobs since I was 14, but basically, I've been ducking and diving and bobbing and weaving in various different countries around the world, as well as England, since I was 14. So there isn't much I don't know about business and life, really. I've been a stripper. I've been a multi-millionaire solar panel importer. I've opened up the first cyber cafe.
Wait, you can't just skip over that. I'm not going to let you just skip over that, right? I'm kind of like, I'll wait for him to stop, but fuck that. Okay, stripper. We're going to have to dive into that because I know there's going to be a couple of the women watching that. Fuck that, myself, right? How stripper? How like even Kara's saying like Callum Head stripper. Like, yes, I did. Right. What was going on in that moment of your life? What was going on there?
So I'll be upfront about this. It's not something I really talk about that much. I was a naughty boy, basically. I was involved in a lot of sort of drug dealing, petty crime and stuff like that when I was younger. And I was getting in over my head. I was about 19 and I went to Spain. Yeah. With my brother in Benidorm. And I did various jobs. It's actually quite a funny story. I'll tell the full story because it's quite good. And I got involved with the same sort of stuff there, and I ended up like managing one of the bars on the main bit of Benidorm, the square, the Red Dog Bar. Yeah. And the boss came to me one night and he was like, "All right, there's a bit in between in Benidorm where you get the old people for winter, and then the young people start coming in like spring, early summer." Yeah. And he was like, "We need to do a thing at like midnight that we get rid of all the old people, and then all the young people come into the bar and drink until 6 a.m." So I was like, "What, stripper?" And he's like, "Yeah, but the strippers, everyone's seen them. There ain't nothing new." And I was like, at the time, it was when the Full Monty film came out.
All right.
So I said, "Well, how about like a Full Monty thing? I'll get my guys," because I was running all the guys out there handing out leaflets and selling jokes. And and I was like, "Well, I'll just get 4 of them, the guys that work for me, to do it." And so I got 4 of my mates, these guys that were up for it. We paid them quite good money. And I choreographed this whole Full Monty show with the music and got them all the outfits with the jeans with the Velcro on it and everything else like that. And everybody knew who it was. The place was absolutely packed. Everyone couldn't wait to see this strip show. Like, I mean, people stood all over the bar. It was heaving. like for about 2 hours before the show was going on. And then last minute, one of the guys bottled out. He walked past the bar and was coming to the apartment where we were supposed to be meeting, and he ran away basically and said he wasn't going to do it. So the only person, the show didn't work with 3 guys, it only worked with 4 guys. And the only other person that knew all the bloody dance moves in the whole show was me, was Muggins. Like, so I stepped in at the last minute, we pulled this show off, and it went absolutely nuts. I took off from there. I mean, we were on BBC, we were on Spanish national telly twice. We did it for about 3.5 years. We were like the opening show on. If you watch Benidorm, the sitcom, you know, the main bar with it's like a big pirate ship. We were the headline act on the opening night of that show. We were headliners there for about 18 months, nearly 2 years. So yeah, and then I ended up getting gigs on my own as well as Frisky Fidel. So yeah, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. Best time of my life. We did it for I was a stripper for about 3.5 years. It was
honestly, I'm so glad we didn't skip past that. Like, I would have not have lived that down from people that also watch this on replay going, how the hell did you not get him to talk about that? So
we used to do a naked can.
Proof or it didn't happen.
And thankfully it was before the days of like there is a VHS video around somewhere. But it was before social media and it was before camera phones and stuff like that. There is a VHS cassette tape of it somewhere of the show. And some photo of us knocking him out. But listen, when you've done a naked can in front of 500 screaming women, like
you can do anything.
And I have to remember that sometimes whenever I feel a bit nervous or wherever I kind of worry about what people will think of me and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, you know what?
I mean, it's amazing, obviously, like, you know, I'll reel myself back in a little bit. So it's great from all stuff like that and everything else you've gone through, obviously, because you've now created with everything you've done. I'm in your Facebook groups, you know, I am in the Modern Man Club. I am in there. It is such a safe and open environment. Like, I know you're constantly open, which is why I like you, a bit like myself. And but it's such a safe environment in that Facebook group, isn't it, for all the members that are in there? And I love the fact when I joined it, it said no matter who you are, what you identify as, etc., it's a safe space for everyone to open up and talk about that one. Like, that's so important, isn't it? Like, it's so important to give everyone that space.
It is, and I think for guys, the Modern Man Club, the messages I get like almost daily, like from people in there. Mainly they're from people who don't interact that much, but just kind of look. And also from my programs, the Council of Kings and stuff, is that like men these days, there isn't male-only spaces anymore. I mean, the male-only spaces of the old days needed to be got rid of because they were about maintaining privilege and exclusion and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. But they haven't been replaced. Whereas there are a lot of women-only spaces, and women create those spaces naturally anyway, don't they? They get together. But guys don't do that. And when we do, it's not particularly kind of like supportive. Like there's a space for it as well. Listen, don't get me wrong. Like, we need to go down the pub with the boys. Do you know what I mean? And have a laugh and all of that stuff. There is absolutely a space for that. But alongside that, we don't have a space where we can talk about problems or sexuality or all of this sort of things. Important things are relationships. You know, we don't do it because if you do that down the pub, it soon descends into fucking schoolboy stuff. You know. Really and all of this sort of thing. So I think men absolutely love it when you create that space and you tell them that it's safe and everybody knows it's a supportive environment, and it's, you know, we do have a laugh in there as well. You know, it's not all serious and doom and gloom and everything else. It is really fun. But we get that balance right. You know, there's a load of fun in there. Plus, people know that if they do open up about something serious, they're going to get a load of good advice, or people that have been through similar stuff, and they're going to get supported and pointed in the right direction. And I know for a fact that place has saved lives. Like, for a fact, I get the wives of some guys messaging me, hunting me down and going, look, man, whatever you're doing in there, like, my husband has totally changed since he's been in your group. And it's all he ever talks about, and there's this, that, and the other. I got accosted in Asda. It's like being famous. Like, this guy came up to me and went, "Oh, you're Fidel from the Modern Man Group and everything else like that." I'm like, "Hello, mate." And he's like, "Listen, you won't know me because I don't own it." And then his wife came over and was just like, she gave me a massive hug, and she was just like, "Oh, it's brilliant." Same thing. Like, it's all he ever talks about. He's been in there for like 6 months. It's been massive for him.
This is when you get the odd person pop up and the guy saw you in Benidorm in 1996.
Yeah, wait, who? What? Don't say that. Yeah. Those days are gone.
It's really, really cool. So personally, the reason I joined it, got told by a couple of people it was fabulous. Obviously, I've heard about you for a while. I worked live, pretty stalked. Yeah, I like knowing who some of the big names are. And I joined it because personally, sometimes I can struggle in a room full of men. You know, I really can. As a gay man, you know, I don't like to feel myself as fully feminine, but there's nothing wrong with that in the slightest. But I can struggle in a room full of men, and I really, really can. Coming into that club, I was like, I'll do it. I'll push myself out my comfort zone. That, you know, because I'm quite big on that. It's what I do for a frigging living. Yeah. And I went in. It was great. I just put one simple message in saying, "Hi guys, new to the group," and everyone just jumped in the comments. "Great to see you here." A couple of people I knew that I didn't know was in there. And like you're saying, it was such a warm and fun environment. And a couple of them messaged me going, "Why the hell wasn't you in that?" I don't know. I just wasn't in it. But obviously, I take it that group also ties into everything else you do. So the Council of Kings. Tell us a bit more about Council of Kings. I know you haven't got anything running at the moment, but Council of Kings, what is it?
The Council of Kings is my kind of flagship program, really. It's heavy. Not heavy, but it's intense. It's a big personal development program that I've run group programs before, and this is taking everything I know. I also went on last year a really intensive coaching program myself with Dr. Robert Glover, who wrote No More Mr. Nice Guy, which is a book that changed my life. And to everybody who's ever read it, actually, it's a really, really powerful book. And I just got in touch with him, and I worked with him for 4 months and became a certified No More Mr. Nice Guy coach, and just learned so many things from that program, plus all the stuff that I've learned over the years as well. And I've kind of created this kind of transformational process that guys do in a group together. Yeah. And again, the biggest thing that I get from that guys message me is like, "Shit, do you know what? I thought I was the only one. I didn't realize there was all these other guys going through, even if the problems are different, specifically the emotions and all the stuff and the feelings around that are similar or the same." And I think a lot of guys don't have a lot of emotional literacy, or fluency. We don't really know how to express it and talk about it, or let it out, or even internally. So we do. I teach the guys meditations on that. We do lots of masculine practices, so they learn how to manage their mindset through those sort of things. I give them a load of tools, and they do a task, and they do video task every week as well. I buddy them up, and they become like a real good. I mean, the WhatsApp groups carry on afterwards, and they're brothers for life now.
They become a Council of Kings. That's what they become, don't they? They become a Council of Kings. They become
a Council of Kings, and some of the stuff. I mean, the different groups now, the WhatsApp groups are brilliant. Some of the stuff that the guys have gone on to do afterwards with the support of their guys, it's just powerful. And so, like I was saying, it's one thing to have your mates you go and have a beer with and stuff like that. And that has absolutely got its space. But to have a group of men, like you said, so many guys don't feel comfortable. Especially when we've got a problem. Most guys will go to women or their female friends, and they'll unburden that, and it's a different experience. There's nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's a different experience. And women will testify the same thing. When you unburden yourself of your problems, when you come clean with your stuff and the bullshit that you're telling yourself and other people in your life, when you do that in front of another group of men and they hold you and they support you and create that space for you, that is it's a feeling like you won't have experienced before. It's totally different.
No, you're completely right. So from that to dealing with 800 women, we're going to subtly slide into them DMs. You know what I mean? We're going to subtly slide into that. So it's tell you what, from DMs.
People always go, why don't you get a VA to manage your DMs? And I'm just like, nah.
No, screw that. I can imagine it's a bunch of fun as well as productive, obviously. It's if it was a subtle way of doing what you wanted in business, I can only fucking imagine. Oh, honestly, look, why did you end up, obviously, why was it so important for you to start working with women as well? Why was that so important?
I don't particularly. I'm running one program at the moment, but I don't particularly work with women. So listen, I've got a big vision, right? I've got a big vision of my purpose, and the reason I do what I do is because I look around me, and men and women as two groups, right, are moving apart, and we don't know how to get back. Here's the thing: the reason we're moving apart is because we're trying to get back together again, but we're doing it wrong. We're looking at the fact of similarity. We try to go down the route of equality, which is absolutely essential, and everybody needs it. Yeah. But what we're trying to do is look at men and women as being the same, right? And so with this kind of homogeny, we've actually grown more and more apart. We still don't know. We're not recognizing the fact that we're fundamentally different. Like, you know, listen, masculinity and femininity are on a spectrum, and some people are Arnold Schwarzenegger, and some people are Mary Poppins, and other people, most people are somewhere in between somewhere. Yeah. And like Mary Poppins is a really bad example, actually. I think
I got what you meant. I got what you meant.
Masculine, actually. Marilyn Monroe. Yeah. But like, I think culturally, that some of it's nature, some of it's nurture, but whatever. There's a big difference. And a lot of it is sort of communication and the way that we talk and the way that we feel and the way that we manage our emotions and difficulties and stuff like that, right? And my passion and my purpose is to try and bridge that gap, try and get men and women back together again. Level one of that is to create separate spaces, but not divided. So a lot of women's only groups are about, they're a bit man-hatery, they're a bit like, let's go over here and be sort of separate. And a lot of men's groups are the same. Do you know what I mean? A lot of men-only spaces are guys that have been through divorces or like red pill movement or real horrible stuff about dating and all of that sort of stuff. Whereas what I wanted to do is create two spaces. It doesn't make sense to only work with one. Yeah. The thing is to bring everybody back together again. I want the same message being given to women as well. Like, you know, And I remember when I first set up the Modern Woman group, I was in there, and then a few of them really noisy ones, like, that's not fair. You can't be in here. And I did. I left it as a women only space. And then what happened is after a few months, a lot of the women that stayed in there were like, well, actually, can you come back? Because that's why we joined, because it's slightly different. And there are lots of women only spaces. The difference is this is a women's only space with one man in it, with a safe guy that you know isn't going to be bloody sliding in your DMs and bloody this, that, and the other. And giving them a male perspective and pulling them when they get to anti-man stuff. You know, I do that, which is, yeah.
Can imagine that's ding, ding, ding. But no, you're completely right. You know, so I like to think that a lot of the time, being a gay man, I get both sides of this. You know, I get both ends of this spectrum. You know, I've got very masculine and male friends, straight and gay, or however they identify, and also lots of women, female friends. And it's completely hilarious how sometimes, like you're saying, people always expect women groups or feminine groups to be, I'm going to use the word bitchy, catty, a bit like that. Put a group of guys together with the odd wrong couple of people in it. Fuck me, right? You'll think it's women with wigs off from your anticipations of what you're expecting. Like, what's gone on there? And it's one of the big things that I think, in particular with gay culture or LGBTQIA plus, fuck it, the rest of the fucking letters.
I'm just learning about the rest of those end bits now.
Yeah, I just call it the acronym society. So it's just amazing how that spectrum for us, I feel like it's just a constant ball going along it, because it just depends on who you're with and the groups emerging together. Because once again, it's a mix of identities. It's a mix of the balancing of the energies. And sometimes I know you're like, a lot of people are in the middle, but there's a lot of the time that ball can flick from one end right to the other end, and it ties in with the people that you're around in gay culture. I completely get what you mean. Sometimes all it takes is one person, and it completely, you can be a bit like, oh, do I belong in this anymore? Do I not belong in this anymore? Like, I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable in this room, like, kind of thing. I completely get it. Completely get it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, group dynamics are a fascinating topic just in itself. You know, how people interact with each other in group settings. And yeah, I generally, I think with men, gay or straight, or however they identify, I think there's been a thing certainly for my generation, where there's some guilt, shame, and total misunderstanding. Like, I mean, we just don't talk about it. The only kind of time that masculinity gets talked about is in the toxic sense, and guys have just grown up kind of like not knowing how to be.
Yeah, it's like white shame, though, isn't it? It's like white shame's a thing because of everything. Like, it's completely a thing, and a lot of people don't process it. They're like, "Is that a thing?" I'm like, yeah, completely.
It is a thing. It is a thing. They're both a thing, and I relate to both of them because of that. And I think in the same way, I think step one for both issues is about recognizing why that came about, like, and taking responsibility for it. Like, and I kind of fall out with quite a lot of men who are still in a little bit of victim mode or kind of like, not me, not all men, that stuff. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, you don't get a gold star for being a good man. Like, that's not how it works. Like, but we do have to take responsibility as a group for the stuff that the men have done before us, and the reason why women feel this way about groups of men. And so, and people don't understand actually how empowering that is. As you know, right, when we work with an individual, the first thing is to take responsibility of your crap, right? And the stuff, and own it, because when you own the bad stuff, you can then own the good stuff, right? But you've got to kind of own all of it to be properly empowered. And I think we can do that as a group, you know. I think that's what men need to do. And women are a couple of steps ahead of us with this stuff. And I love seeing a lot of the stuff that women are doing at the moment. With
women are always ahead of us.
They kind of are. They kind of are, like, you know.
You know, women are always ahead of us. You know, I'll give that way. I was brought up by three very strong women. My nan, my mum, and my eldest sister. Three very strong women, and trust me, women are always ahead of men. I will give them credit where it is due. They are always ahead of us.
It's true.
We already anticipate you're going to spill a drink before you spilt it. You know, it's that case. It's quite fun. But Sir Fidel, obviously I saw your post earlier you shared about you being on the show, that you might be dropping a couple of bombs here and there. Are we letting loose what you're going to be doing with Modern Man?
I think we did. I almost dropped my pants earlier, didn't I? Like, you know?
Yeah, you really did drop your pants earlier. Are we going to be dropping the bomb on what you're going to be doing with Modern Man Club, or are we keeping that hush?
No, let's talk about it. Fidel, what
are you doing with Modern Man Club? What are you doing with the Modern Man?
Is the launch of the Modern Man Coaching Academy. That's the next big thing. I'm going to start posting about it soon. That's going to start in June, where I'm putting together a program that's just it doesn't exist anywhere in the world. I'm working with a top ICF accredited coach to put together a coaching program, and Dr. Robert Glover, who's said my mentor. It's going to be a 12-week program. We're going to take existing coaches or people that want to become a life coach, and specifically who want to work with men. And we're going to take you through the whole process. We're going to do 12 weeks of coaching and training and everything else like that. And then you're going to dip into a sort of business coaching environment for a year. And you're going to be able to be a Modern Man coach and use that branding and everything else like that. We're going to help you build websites. We're going to sort out all your legal stuff. And we're going to have accountability, ongoing coaching and everything else like that. There's just nothing like it on the market. Teaching and helping coaches become how coaches should be, which is constantly personally developing, making sure you're getting great coaching and therapy yourself, making sure you're in a clean space to hold space for your clients, how to build a great business, and basically to help more men. It's a growing market. More men are getting ready to come into this area and have coaching and have therapy. And so I want to help some guys be there for them and get the message out there that it's okay to do personal development if you got some nuts between your legs.
Why do you use so many references that I could use? Honestly, we shouldn't be doing this. But no, It sounds fucking awesome. Like, it really, really does. And obviously, plug your book again for us. What's your book? So I had a few people dropping in now.
Do you know what? It's still selling really well. I just got a bit of commission through from it today, though, which is really, really nice. It's flying off the shelf. Loads of women are buying it as well, actually, and finding it useful. So the book is Divorce, Modern Man's Guide. Again, there was nothing like it on the market when I went through my divorce. There was a lot of stuff about financial and legal advice and everything else like that, but nothing out there for men to help them navigate the emotional and mental side of something so pivotal in your life.
Yeah.
That's what that is. It helps guys navigate the mental and emotional pitfalls of divorce.
Oh, I love. Why are you so fucking happy? I love it. I don't know why I'm questioning it. I just love it. Like, I don't have time for any miserable cunts in my life, and that's the only way I can say it. That's the only way I can say it. I don't have time for any miserable. Sorry if there's anyone listening, or my mum, because my mum did tune in earlier. Christ, but I don't have time for that shit. I absolutely love it. Fidel, because we're about to wrap up, we've been talking for half an hour, mate. Yeah, exactly. Do you have any final words of wisdom or advice you could say to anyone going forward or anything like that? You know, first, my bit of advice for them is go find your bloody groups. That's my first bit of advice.
Yep, come join the Modern Man Club and the Modern Woman Club, both brilliant spaces.
Yep, love it. Absolutely love it. And if anyone is watching this live, Cara has dropped the link to Fidel's book on Amazon.
Thank you very much, Cara. You can drop the group links in there as well.
Honestly, she's absolutely great. I don't do anything. She just drops it in. It's absolutely fabulous. Fidel, please don't rush off anywhere. I'm just going to kick you backstage. I'll have a quick natter with you backstage. And thank you so much for being on my final guest on Coaches Week and for coming on today. I've loved it.
Good day, everybody. Enjoy a good Friday. Eat some fried fish and bammy.
Oh, honestly, please make me some because I really want it. Speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, press all the right buttons. There we go. Oh, honestly, what a week and what a person to finish the week on. I was nearly going to say what a person to finish me off, but that sounded completely inappropriate. So yes, what a fabulous week. What a fabulous guest today, Fidel Beauhill. Make sure you go check out the Modern Man Club, the Modern Women Club, the Council of Kings. Just go find him. Just go find him. Honestly, it's an absolute man to watch, and make sure you just got him in the background there for you because he's an absolute trooper. So a fabulous week. So going through my guest this week, you had myself on Monday being interviewed by the one and only Cara Wood, the quackette herself. Then on Tuesday, we had Mr. Brad Burton. On Wednesday, we had the one and only Taz Thornton. On Thursday, yesterday, we had Crossley, the man who practically shits happiness. It's great. And then today, we had Fidel Beauhill. Oh, it was fabulous. So people, thank you so much for tuning into Kwak TV this week. It is Good Friday. Like we said, go get your Jamaican food. Go get it. Screw your fish and chips. Fucking splash out for once. And on Monday, we have got the wonderful Angie Simmons as our guest on the show. Remember, have a lovely day. Have a lovely weekend. And in the words of my nana, if you can't be good, be careful. If you can't be careful, don't get caught.